In the news now, a Goodlettsville family very lucky to have a place to stay after an early morning blaze ripped through their home. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley at the smart screen in the studio with us this morning to tell us this family is very, very lucky they're all right.
Absolutely, Steve. This happened in the early morning hours, and all 6 people were, of course, sleeping inside when the fire broke out. A man was actually inside that home, as I said, sleeping. He woke up, smelled the smoke, and began screaming to get everybody out of the home, including a 2-year-old as well. The fire happened right here on Crocker Springs Road in Goodlettsville, as I said, around 1:30 this morning. Firefighters believe the flames started in an air conditioning unit on the side of the home, and somehow those flames and smoke made their way into the rest of the house. Family members say they had just recently moved into the home, and when they turned the unit on last night, the smell raised some concern, but other than that, things seemed to be okay. They were all able to save some personal items in the house, but a woman living there says this has still been quite an emotional experience.
My old man come running through the house and was yelling, get up, smoky everywhere. So we woke up and I looked, because my room's right there, and I looked and I seen that fire shooting out of the unit. And so we're running and trying to get out of the house.
The family is staying with friends through this morning and will work on finding another place to live. But as I said, the family was able to save some items from inside of the home, all thanks to a neighbor who they're calling a hero this morning. He took matters into his own hands fighting those flames. We'll have his story coming up in 30 minutes. Guys?
All right, Cuthbert, thank you. And new this morning for you, 2 patients had to move rooms at the Summit Hospital after a heating unit fan belt burned up. The fire department was called around 1 o'clock in the morning because smoke was spotted on the 5th and 6th floors of the facility. They quickly cut the power and then had to call maintenance to come in and fix the problem. The patients that were moved in the hospital had respiratory problems. They're in another area of the hospital now.
And a 2-week-long crime spree for teenage Bonnie and Clyde has ended. Police found Dalton Hayes and his 13-year-old girlfriend Cheyenne Phillips in Panama City Beach yesterday. They were sleeping in a stolen pickup. The 2 fled Kentucky last week, days before Hayes was to appear in court on burglary and theft charges. The pair is suspected of a string of crimes while on the run. Authorities will bring them back to Kentucky to face charges.
Parents and students are preparing for the rest of the school year without their leader down in Spring Hill. The Spring Hill Elementary principal, Sharon Cantrell, was shot and killed by her brother. Police say the argument between Cantrell and the brother, Tom Kalk, escalated outside of the home in Columbia. Detectives say that Kalk shot his sister before turning the gun to her husband, Terry, who quickly returned fire, killing Kalk. A candlelight vigil is planned to remember Sharon Cantrell and her service to the community. She served as the principal at Spring Hill Elementary since 2009, had been with the district, though, for much longer than that.
2 people are dead after a shooting at an apartment complex that happened Sunday morning on Nice Drive. Police found Janet Boone in critical condition, and her son Frank was already dead. Janet was rushed to a hospital but later died from her injuries. Police say after a preliminary investigation, they were not looking for a suspect. Meanwhile, there is an ongoing search for a gunman responsible for a fatal shooting that happened Saturday morning. Metro Police say George Huddleston and his wife were sitting in a car behind their house on Cato Road in Ashland City just after midnight when a masked gunman approached and demanded their belongings. Several shots were fired by both the gunman and the victim. Huddleston was hit in the chest and died at the hospital. His wife was not hurt. The gunman fled the scene.
A former teacher and coach has been arrested for allegedly stalking a person who shot him. Matthew Jones used to teach in Dixon County. Well, we're told he attacked his ex-wife's husband in 2012 during a child exchange and was shot by the husband. A year later, he was arrested for assault after violating a restraining order and going to the husband's home. Jones was arrested in Roane County and brought to Dixon for aggravated stalking charges.